Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to yet another amazing live stream. Let me know where you are joining me from and hit the like button as you're coming in. Hi Jobali, nimefurahi kujiunga nawe. Nami pia nimefurahi kujiunga nawe. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Nakubali vipaji vya Kiafrika, kaa nyumbani. Okay. Hey, Sarah Justice, how are you doing? Mambo, hello, Mambo. God's Clanov, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining the stream. Let's see whom we have in the house today. Let's see who we have in the house today. Let me know where you're joining me from. Sharing is caring. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Share out the stream. Let's have as many people participating. Hi, dear. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Jamal Brewer, Tony M, Golden Heart. It's been ages. How are you doing, my sister? God's clan of you fine. Hit the like button, share out the stream. Let me also share it out. We're going to have a very interesting conversation. Hi, St. James. How are you doing? Kondo Bahari. How are you doing? Coffee. Sarah, Sainov, Violet, DJ Morris, I see 32 people in the stream. Justin Howard, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining the stream. We're going to have a very interesting conversation, and it's going to be more of an open conversation, although we have somebody who's going to join us on the same. We're talking about relocation, moving to the US, moving to Australia, Europe, all these places where people love to move to from Africa. So why? What mistakes do people make while making these moves? So hit that like button as you're coming in. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section. I was having a conversation earlier on, and I noticed or I learned that there's a lot of miseducation whereby a number of people just move because you told it's the land of milk and honey, it's the land of what, and people pack their bags, they forget everything, they sell their family home, they move, they make that mistake. So I was having a conversation with someone who's abroad, and they were telling me on the challenges, but it's very hard for someone to notice or to even see it when all we see is people standing next to amazing cars, taking photos, very nice houses. We see them, maybe they're in big cities, beautiful skyscrapers and all that. So a lot of people on the continent, when they see that, they think like, why are you telling me this? Why do you tell me not to move if I'm doing well? Because somebody could just be having a job, they're doing well, they're not really lacking anything, they still have a job, they'll quit their job. Some would even have started on their businesses. I know a number of people who maybe have run their businesses for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, but when another opportunity comes to move, they quit, they stop their business, even if it had potential for growth. A number of people will stop their business and forget everything, pack the bags and leave. They get a wake-up call too soon when they get to the other side. Initially, it's always very amazing because, it's amazing. It's a new environment. Probably you are able to see all those things that you've been seeing in movies. So initially, it's very amazing. You get there, you're excited about it. And then now, as time goes by, first month, second month, you come to realize that things are pretty different. And this time around, maybe you've exhausted some of the savings that you had from the continent, maybe from your car sales, you sold your car, you sold your house and all that. Hit that like button as you're coming in. This is going to be an open conversation. I dropped the link in case you want to join. I've met numerous continental Africans in America who regretted moving here. I know a number of people who did that. I know a number of people who quit their job. They had an amazing job. I know someone. I met this gentleman. He eventually came back, but initially he quit his job. He was working with Safaricom, which is a telecommunication company, and he was doing very well because he performed very well. So he got a job, and he was rising in ranks at his place of work. So when an opportunity came to move, he took it. He stayed there for 2 years. He went to Europe. He stayed there for 2 years. He came back. Life there wasn't as easy as he thought. It wasn't all rosy as he thought. So he stayed there for 2 years and he came back. His job was no longer there because you see, you left. It's not like the job will be there waiting for you. The job was no longer there and it became a challenge getting back a job. So he had to start, some small business and just trying to find other means of surviving. Kenya, Gambia, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda on my mind. We can't just live for what the continent can do for us. That happened to one of my in-laws. He had a big construction company and moved to America. Now he is crying. We warned him beforehand. He didn't listen. You see, the problem is we have a lot of friends and family who are in the diaspora. We have a lot of friends and family who are abroad, but they don't tell people the truth. So you'll always see them, I don't know, there's a way that when people take photos on the other side, they have the latest phone, but of course, you see with the phones, you can always get your phone and you pay for it over here. So they take amazing, very clear phones, very good quality photos. They take very amazing photos. And when they do that, they post on social media, you look at it and you see that like these people are living your dream. Like that is where you want to be. The place is so beautiful. Like the environment and all that could look so beautiful, but a lot of people don't know the struggle behind it. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Since 2018, moving to Africa next month. That's awesome. If you have never stepped in this crazy country, America, you can't understand what people usually go through. Exactly. Okay. I think I've mentioned this before. A lot of people would go, and because when they are leaving, they've probably told a lot of people, and people are like, wow, congratulations. In fact, people will always tell you congratulations. So people would be so excited for you, and you'll be very excited. You would have notified a lot of people that you are going to move. So everybody is so excited, and everybody is saying, it's gonna be big. When we're seeing America, UK, or wherever, what we see is what the media presents. We see the big the beautiful houses, very well manicured lawns. We see the trains, maybe like the trains, the light buses and light trails and all that. Those things that we don't probably have. Some countries probably don't have, or it's not as the infrastructure is not as developed to that level. So when you get there, you want to live in that moment. So when you see that, no one ever tells you the struggle that people go through. A lot of people are going through so much struggle, even in the type of jobs they do. They're the types of jobs that they would never accept to do back home. They would never take those jobs. But a number of people are pushed to taking such jobs. So when they get there, they will not show you, they will not tell you the struggle they're going through. They will not even tell you what employment or what job they are doing. So you'll only be seeing some nice photos on social media and all that, and you'll be like, oh, you're looking good, oh, you're so lucky, oh, how's life in? It's like, it's an achievement to be there. But a lot of people who would open up to you sincerely and tell you what they go through, or if you ever have a chance to visit abroad, then for sure you'll get to know it's not easy and it's not all rosy as it looks. Here, like, je parlais français, mais je comprends un peu anglais. For me, but know what you're talking about. All right, I get you. Amel. Je parle un peu français. Hit the like button as you're coming in. We have somebody who joined us. Hey, Success Nation.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I am well. I'm doing good.
All right. I want to move abroad.
I said, don't do it. Please stay where you are and prosper. Yeah, don't do it. That's a big no. Stay where you are. Mm-hmm.
So tell us, how's the situation? I think last time we were talking about it, and you mentioned about your brother who's like really determined to move, and you are trying to discourage him. Why would you say? Because you're one of the people who say don't move abroad if you're doing well in Africa, or if you can see potential in growing in Africa. Why do you say so when you're still living there?
Great question. Well, The reason I say that is because when you get here, what you think it is not what it is. So the reason I'm still here is because I don't have a way out. Because I can't afford to get out, because the plane ticket is too high for me, because the job that I'm working is only to pay my bills, so I don't have anything left over to be able to go back home. And also, the reason I'm telling my brothers they're better off where they are is because in Africa they have a lot more. They can do a lot more with a little than here. So I'm telling them, like, establish a business over there. I'm able to help you. If I can help you, I will help you to get a business started. Why? Because I know if you get a business started over there, you're gonna be the first who is doing that business, and your opportunity, the chance of you becoming a billionaire or a millionaire in Africa, chances of you becoming a millionaire in Africa is higher than um you becoming a millionaire here in America. So even when you come to establishing businesses in America, do you know how hard it is for people to establish business? Do you know how much money you have to pay? That is not the case in Africa. So you have a lot better opportunity there than here, because once you get into the rat race, you can't get out. This is why many of us, like myself, are stuck here in a way, because I can't afford to go back to Africa, because most people who are left in Africa, they are doing way better than I am. They own houses. Many of them have businesses. But here I am, who is in the great United States. I don't own any house. I'm renting. Okay. I'm renting and I'm barely even surviving. And so it's like, why would you want to trace good freedom and prosperity for slavery?
All right, all right. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the case. I think I was talking about, you find that maybe someone you went to school with, be it high school, then or maybe university, because you see, when we're coming, okay, someone mentioned something, Osman, I think he mentioned, which is actually a reality across Africa. Maybe you're born in a village. When you're born young and you're in that village or in that community, you go to a nearby school for your primary school. And in high school, you want to move out of that area. You want to maybe go outside a bigger district, or maybe a different county for high school. After high school, we all want to go to university at the city, like the university that is at the city. That is, everybody wants to be at the city. And after that, a lot of people, almost everybody's dream is to go abroad. So fine, I've seen cases whereby you have someone who went abroad, and then you have somebody who remained, your friends or your colleagues who remained. So you went abroad, you had your 4 years degree from Kenya or whichever country you had, and then your degree is not recognized on the other side. I think most courses are not recognized, or most degrees will not be recognized on the other side. So you get there, you spend another 4 years trying to study between, so you'll be working partly and you will be studying. So it's a hassle in between the two. Maybe 4 years down the line, you'll finish your degree, and then now you start working. But in those 4 years' time, for somebody who really put their energy and put their focus in developing themselves, they would have made a step. Some would have bought some small piece of land somewhere. Some would have started maybe a foundation for their houses and all that. And then by the time you are coming to realize that, oh, you need to build a house, you need to do what? This other person has built a house, is probably settled. And if most cases, if it's a lady, maybe you find that maybe your colleagues or your friends, all that time when you're struggling, starting on life, it's like you're starting life from zero. When you move abroad, you're starting life from zero. So you find that your friends, they settle, they're running businesses, some of them are married, or if they're men, they're married, they've been able to marry because they can be able to cater for that, they can be able to provide for that, compared to when you are abroad. So you find that someone is in a system that they are not able to get out. But because of that embarrassment, you see, like, your friends, your colleagues, or the people you left have succeeded, or are making moves on the continent or in whichever country you come from, you get so embarrassed you don't want to come back, but you just have to create that impression that everything is well. So that's why you find sometimes that some people go to the point, oh, Kenyan, we get the news headline, oh, Kenyan killed herself, or she committed suicide, oh, he took poison, oh, like why? Oh, he was alone, he was depressed, he was, things like that. So as the someone who says, I live in America, but I don't think what I do will be useful in Africa. I'm a stock trader, investor, and I did landscaping before my injury. I think it depends on the country. I know a lot of people who are doing stock in Africa, so you just need to research. I know some of them who are doing it, especially those ones who've been able to do. I don't know how they. Okay, I don't know much about stock, but I know one person who's like really successful in stock, and I schooled with them. What Africa needs most is black investors. Kindly farm, hit that like button, hit the like button. I could understand traveling globally, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere besides Africa. Brain drain is real. Dear, got my email. I hear a lot about Kenya, Ghana, and the Gambia, but I personally have interest in Burkina Faso. What information can you provide? Unfortunately, I really don't have much information about Burkina Faso. I just know Thomas Sankara, and the capital is Ouagadougou. I don't know. I really don't know much. You know much about Burkina Faso?
No, sadly, I don't either. Yeah, Burkina Faso. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Cost of living in America. Someone is asking, what about her husband? Doesn't he have a job?
My husband do have a job, but like I said, because of the living expenses, because we are not the how you call it the high the middle. We're not middle class. We're not considered middle class or high class. So because of that, we are considered the low income people. Okay. So if you're in a low income bracket, it don't matter if you're working, your spouse is working, you will still struggle. And then we have 3 children that we have to feed and and take care of and make sure that they're well. So you got to imagine that also that we have to feed, put clothes on their back. So yeah, I do have a husband who is working, but we are considered lower class citizens.
All right, all right. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that like button as you are coming in. So I know you have plans to relocate, and your brother on the other side, they want to swap positions with you. What's so exciting? Like, what's so exciting? I just want to know. Personally, I know, yes. Personally, when I finished my undergrad, I wanted to go abroad. So I know. So for everybody who feels that way, I know. I really don't blame them, because even me, when I finished my undergrad, like, oh my goodness, I wanted to go abroad so bad. Like, that would be a dream come true. And then at that point, it happened. I happened to visit New York a few months before my graduation. Just I'd finished about 2, 3 months after my finishing my classwork, waiting for my graduation. I happened to visit New York, and then I happened to visit again a different city, and I was like, okay. So you get to see, you get to see the real life, you get to see the struggle. Even if you have friends, you realize that they are working long hours. You barely have time. You barely see each other. So it's work, which is okay. Work is very important because it's through work that people build nations. But also it can be, if you are not getting reward equivalent to the work you're doing, if you're not able to save and be able to buy a good house or be able to, live comfortably, then that's going to be a challenge. Expenses in San Francisco Bay Area are extremely high. The city of San Francisco, the average rent is, wow, $5,000 a month. I mean, that's wow. How many people make $5,000 a month in Africa? If you make that, you're living big. I mean, if you wow. Like $5,000 a month is a lot of money here. The working poor is real, folks. I have family members that work 2 jobs and are still struggling. Let's hear from someone else now. Hi, Gods. Hello.
How are you guys?
We can't hear you. You're very far from your mic.
No. Hello? Can you
Yeah?
hear me?
No. You're very far from your mic. Can you hear him, Success Nation?
No.
No, your audio
What are you
is.
guys doing? Okay, I can speak.
If you can raise your
And nobody
voice or
can hear
change
me.
your audio, I don't know, because we're struggling. We can't hear you at
Okay,
all.
now it works, right?
Okay. So you knew what you were
Liberian
doing.
girls, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. Fine. Guys, if you are going abroad, you have to prepare. Otherwise, don't go. If you are going for study, okay, no problem. If a company is sending you abroad, you can go. But don't move if you have a job somewhere at home in Africa and you want to go abroad to do what? I have studied abroad, 2 faculty. I finished both, so I know what I'm talking about. You know, and to get a good job is difficult. You have to be the number one. You know, when I went for the other job I was doing, when I went, I told them, look, all the 100 candidates, leave them and take me. They asked me why. I told them because I am the best. If you get someone that is better than me, I will pay you 1 month's salary. So you have to be the best. Otherwise, do not go. Otherwise, do not go. It's not easy. You will work and pay the bills every month. And if you are not careful, nothing will be over. Okay, I don't have to complain for that because I'm maybe one in the 10 or 20,000. You know?
Okay. All right.
So
Okay. Someone says Hollywood did a great job painting a picture of the West. Many people fell for the con. That's very true. Media, branding. I mean, the image of what I heard and the reality, it's not like I can't say like it's very bad, extremely bad. Of course, there is positive. I believe there's also positive things. To be realistic, I think there are also some positive things abroad. But the point is, if you're doing well in Africa, if you've started your company, if you've been running your business, and you've seen progress and you're seeing the business is doing well, don't ditch your business to go and start from zero. Start seeking, I believe, I don't know, but I don't think you can rise beyond certain ranks. I don't know if you can be able to start the same business in the diaspora and get as high or as far as you would have gotten with your own business if you had continued with your business in Africa. And the worst is those ones who sell their land, sell everything and move abroad, and now they're trying to buy a house abroad. You see, if you have your own land here, it is you're born here, you have your land here, it's freehold land. That land is yours. You don't pay land rates at all. It is yours forever. But on the other side, I very well know that if you have a house, you'll be paying land rates. It is your money, but you'll be paying those rents, those the land rates forever. If you don't pay, I think that what happens when someone doesn't pay? The government takes it or what?
Yeah, they take the house away. If you don't pay your mortgage,
yeah,
you take your house, and then or even your taxes on the house. So after you finish paying all your mortgage, then you got to pay the taxes for the house also.
Uh-huh. You see, but on this other side, you can have your house you built in your village, that's ancestral land in some place, and it will be yours forever. If you're in the city and life becomes difficult, you can move and stay at home. Let's hear from Ellery.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm glad to be on your channel speaking to fellow Africans. It's been a while. I've been on a lot of live streams speaking to people from all over the world. I'm just glad to be amongst my own for once in a long time. I noticed the question you asked in your title, and I just wondered, why would an African who's doing well in the continent, whether it's in Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, why would you want to leave and go to Europe? How would you cope with the racism? Whereas in your homeland, you don't have to worry about that type of nonsense. But when you go to Europe, you might have to deal with prejudice from white people, from black people who are from the Caribbean or something, I mean, or Asians. Why put yourself under that psychological stress? If you're doing well in Africa, you're amongst your people, you know, and why would you want to leave? I don't understand. Unless you're doing it for business, so you keep your investment in Africa and you go to the rest of the world to invest. So maybe, I guess, for a financial thing, but I think for your peace of mind, raising your kids, it's best to stay in your homeland. If you're doing well, especially, just travel for pleasure, but be based at home. That's what I think. I know. But that's me. I'm based in London, and I would like to go back to Nigeria. I've got family there, so I'm planning to go back. So I guess my mentality is different. I'm planning to go back home for good, which goes against your question, I guess.
Wait, yeah. That's very interesting. When you moved, what did you have in mind? When did you move from Nigeria to London?
Well, when I ended up, I was born in England, but then as a child, I was taken back. So I lived, schooled, grew up in Nigeria. And then my mother decided to send me to England to school, which I didn't want. I told her I didn't want to go, but she said it would be for the best. So I ended up staying here a lot longer than was planned. So I've seen it all. I've spent most of my life amongst people who are not my own, having to live amongst different people, work amongst them and stuff.
Yeah, so I think why you say why would someone who's doing very well move to the other side? It's because they don't know. People don't know. A lot of people don't know because you see movies, you see how people are living, and it's very interesting. You see yourself, you imagine, and I get there, I want to tour the whole country, I want to go to Hollywood, I want to see Beverly Hills, and you believe that maybe a lot of believe that one day maybe you'll be living in Beverly Hills and all that. You see, that's the kind of things that people see, and then they like, this could be me, this could be me. So they want that life. They want that life that you see in movies. That is why people move. They don't have the information. That's why they are doing that. Sarah says, if you're in Kenya, you're making 100,000 per month, you are rich. 100,000 Kenyan shillings is like $1,000 US, but with now as the currency is declining, that's about 950 something US right now. So I think when you're making 100,000, that's $1,000. You can live comfortably, not like rich, but you can live very comfortably, very good. You can live in a good neighborhood. You can have a car. You can be able to buy. You can be able to save and buy some land somewhere as time goes by. Hit that like button as you are coming in. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dominic. Tell them it's not a walk in the park in the West here. A lot of people get homesick and miss family. I for sure know that. Saino, we're having an echo from the end. There's an echo. You need to close the YouTube tab in case you're watching it.
I did. Thank you.
All right, let's hear from you.
One of the things, thank you so much for allowing me to come on. One of the things is someone just said the $1,000. You cannot live in the U.S. for $1,000 US. If not, you're living in a very tight, tough situation, and will probably be homeless very soon because you just cannot survive even on American dollars
$1,000. So there's a whole what it means to be rich, what it means to be wealthy, what you think that it means to live well. It's a whole different mindset on what it takes to make it in the U.S. And what it takes to make it in other countries. And starting a business here in the U.S., for example, is you need $100,000 if you need something that's going to have a building. If you have something that's going to have a building or a structure, you need at the very least $100,000 before you can even start talking about buying a building. And even with that, even if you can't buy a building outright, in my town, for example, I live in a suburb just outside of Memphis. Buildings are $1 million US. So we were looking at before we were looking at moving back to the continent, we were looking at starting a physical business here. And it was all of the buildings in my suburban area are $1 million plus. So it's just the difference is phenomenal. And even if, for example, in my suburban area where I live, well, the rent started at $1,500 per month. That's just rent. You haven't even bought food yet. You haven't bought a car, which is if you can find a car for $300 a month. You need transportation if you're going to have a business. If someone's moving, to live where I am in the South. So there's just a huge difference in the amount of money that it takes to just simply survive. We're not even talking about thriving yet. We're just talking about surviving. And so there's definitely this social media or illusion that's going on with the West, the same way that we have been told here in the West about some of the lies that we have been told about Africa. That same machine is also working to show that America is the best, that America has everything that you need, and that you need to be here, you need to visit here. And so you really have to take that into account and not fall into the lies, not fall into the hype, not fall into this idea of perfection that exists in the West, because it just does not exist.
All right, all right. Thanks for sharing. Let's hear from the Kali Enigma. So before you hear someone says it's an illusion living in the West, you're literally working for somebody else, making them rich. You will never be a partner when you are competing with Mzungu, Indians, and Asians. It is tough. Isaac Bongomin. Yeah, let's hear from the Kali Enigma.
Yeah, I live in the richest state in the United States, and I live in the richest area within that state. So where she's at, funny thing is where she's at in Memphis, that's considered cheap compared to where we're at. It's considered cheap to where we're at. I mean, rent. I mean, like I told you, in San Francisco, rent on the average rent is $5,000 a month. You got rent going for, I think rent went up to now like Oakland, like $3,100 a month or something like that for rent. You go like mortgages and stuff like that. A mortgage is gonna run you from a new house, probably gonna run you starting at about $3,500 or something like that for a mortgage. We ain't even talking about like, insurance and things of that nature. All that stuff comes into play. And when it comes to expenses and stuff like California, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna spend money. I mean, it's the idea of living off $1,000 a month, never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you $1,000 a month, you sleeping outside. $1,500 a month, you sleeping outside. $2,000 a month, you sleeping outside. You can't live off $2,000 a month in California. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You're gonna be sleeping out. You need to spend in California. Some places you could probably get by barely with about $3,000 a month. You can get by, barely get by, but you're gonna be living in the poorhouse. I'm telling you straight up. If you try to survive on anything less than about $3,100 a month, you're gonna be sleeping outside. You have to, and I'm telling you, you have to have probably at least about $4,000 to barely get by, $4,000 a month to barely get by if you're living in the Bay Area, because the Bay Area is more expensive than Los Angeles and then Southern California. This is the most expensive place, Silicon Valley, in that region. So we got a lot of tech companies in this area and a lot of wealthy people who've bought up a lot of real estate here, and it's driven up the rent. It's driven up everything. The cost, the expenses are ridiculous. And then you got property taxes, you got state income taxes on top of all of that stuff right there. So at the end of the day, you're gonna pay a lot. You're not gonna have any money whatsoever. And that's one of the downsides of living here. The myth is that you could just move to California and a lot of people move to California to be movie stars, and then they end up homeless. They end up living on places like Skid Row in Southern California, or they just end up living in a homeless shelter, or they end up living, paying rent together, living with or they have to go get a roommate somewhere. They're struggling to get by. The wages are higher in the Bay Area, but the expenses are high. So you got people making $30-some. They say, "Oh, you make $30-some an hour? That's nothing. $30 an hour in the Bay Area is nothing. It really is nothing. $30 an hour in Memphis, you can live good. $30 an hour in the Bay Area." So it's like, this is the myth about, because people, when they show you California, they show you like the glitz and the glamour and how beautiful everything is. Yeah, if you're a wealthy person, this is a wealthy person state in California. If you have money, you can thrive here. You really can. There's a lot of opportunity for wealthy people. This is what this state is for. We got a lot of venture capitalists here, especially in the Bay Area. We got Elon Musk. He lives in San Mateo County in a 35, and his house is worth $35 million. $35 million, and he owns like 3 other properties right around the Bay Area. But the guy's he's uber rich. This is what this state is for people like him. This state is for people like Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and for the owners of the Warriors and all these other extremely wealthy people. And then a lot of people move to LA and then they buy homes that'll be worth, I don't know, about $4 million. And other places are like $18 million in California. It's just ridiculous. So anybody if you think you're going to come from Africa and just blow up here, I'm just going to tell you, don't waste your time. It's better for you to build a business in Africa, and you can actually live a lot better there than come over here and struggle. I'm telling you, you're going to struggle here, because I'm telling you, you can make a lot of money, but when you take account for your expenses, you're barely going to get by. It's not worth it. I'm telling you. And you really need to live. You need like 4 or 5 people living in one house. What you see here is that Indians and Asians they'll pile into one house. It'll be like 9, 10, 11, 12 people in one house, and they'll all work together to pay off that house. Black folks in America generally can't get along like that, to have like 12 people in one house just to pay it off. It works if you're willing to do something like that, but that's what you got to do. You see what you got to do in order to get one house? You need a whole bunch of people to get together to pay off a house. It's just ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. Don't come here, man, unless you got a real plan, unless you know you're going to make a bunch of money. That's my advice for anybody looking to come from Africa to California, or even to the States, because the States are expensive too. New York is expensive. Washington, D.C. is expensive. So is Chicago, Illinois, and other places. Don't come here unless you know you got a plan to actually make it. You better make sure that plan's going to work, because I'm telling you, it's tough out here.
All right. A question though, you mentioned about this neighborhood, the Bay Area, which is very expensive in renting. So can someone live outside that area and come to work so that they can be able to save?
You can live outside of you can live outside of the San Francisco Bay Area in the Valley, but it's still expensive. They got places outside of the Bay Area that just you'll probably save maybe $500. That's about it. You'll still be paying around $2,700 a month if you live just outside of the Bay Area. If you want to save a little bit more, you got to drive like 3 hours away, and you're still going to be paying about $2,400 a month, $2,400, $2,300 a month. So it's just an expensive place. It's just an expensive state. There's not a lot of savings in this state. This state is, like I told you before, this is a wealthy person's state. If you make $117,000 a year, you qualify for low-income housing in the state of California. That should tell you everything that you need to know right there. 117,000 American dollars. You think about that. You as an American make $117,000 a year. You think you're living good, right? California, you qualify for low income housing. Let's sit on that one for a minute. That should tell you how expensive this place is. 117,000 a year, and you qualify for low income housing.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, just quickly, if I could, to what he's saying is the dichotomy is, for example, where he's in the West and I'm in the Midwest. I'm considered more or less South. And so even though our cost of living is high, even to get a $37 hour job or $50 job are few and far between. So each of the states are going to have their struggles. And even though, say, for example, because we price housing in Riverside, California, we price housing in LA, we price housing in New York and White Plains. And so $1 million house there looks like the house that I live in now, which is about a 3-bedroom, $150,000 house in the South. But at the same time, even though our cost of living may be cheaper in the South, if someone is listening and they're saying, "Oh, well, I'll just go to Memphis, I'll just go to the South, to North Carolina or somewhere else," it's the same problem, because the jobs, those high-paying jobs, are still going to be few and far between, and they're not going to offer those jobs to you first. Your African skin, your Black skin that's like mine, you're going to face the same racism, the same discrimination. They're going to give the same jobs, those high-paying jobs, manager positions, those top positions, even no matter how many degrees you have, they're going to give those positions to their friends, their family members, to people who look like them. And unfortunately, that is not us. You're going to still run into the discrimination. And so that means what? That means you're working and you're looking for now, the basic jobs like, that like African Tigers mentioned, jobs that you might not want to do, you wouldn't necessarily do if you were in Africa. You may end up doing fast food or cleaning houses or doing something else that you would not typically do. And that's why you see people say, "Oh, well, when Africans come over, they have 2 or 3, different jobs." Well, okay, why do people need 2 or 3 different jobs? Because they're just trying to survive, without seeing that here in America, for us African Americans who are already here, we have already have some connections, and so we already have some people in place which will help us to get into some jobs and to make some moves and to do some things. But it's still a struggle. So don't fool yourself, no matter where you go, whether it's New York, whether it's LA, or whether it's the South. The struggle is still real. And at the end of the day, you're going to face racism, and you're going to face the issues that are in that culture, in that area.
All right.
And don't they?
Go ahead.
Can I say something, sis?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't they? I need to ask them. I don't know if they do it in their state. Don't they? Do you guys also in your state, do they have like an income limit? Like if you make over a certain amount of money, you can't live in certain neighborhood. Do you guys also have that in your states, or is it just in Texas where they have income limitation? Like if you make over a certain amount of money, you can't live in this neighborhood because now you have to live in the upper class because this is where your income bracket fits.
We don't necessarily have that in Tennessee. In Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, North Carolina, you really don't have that you can't live. The only thing you maybe can't do, you may not qualify for certain programs if your income is over a certain amount. You wouldn't apply. You wouldn't be able to apply for like a Section 8 or for any of the governmental assistance programs if your income is over, a certain amount. But there are no caps or restrictions. Like, for example, with our income, if I wanted to go live and move to a low income house or area in Memphis, in the city, or if I wanted to live out in the country in Mississippi where it's much even cheaper than here where I am, I could go. And there are no restrictions and no income caps. I'm free to go and live wherever I want to, as long as I'm not trying to live in a housing or through a housing program that's offering some type of government assistance, where there are restrictions or limits on, the loan because the government has set that in place.
It's the same here in California. So you can live where you want as long as you're not trying to take advantage of a government program, which you wouldn't qualify for anyway. I mean, believe me, you got to make almost nothing to qualify for some of these programs anyway. A lot of times, but as far as, like I said, the low income housing, 117,000 you qualify for low income housing, and 117,000, and that just changed. That law changed like about 3-4 years ago or something like that. But yeah, it's ridiculous around here, especially here in the Bay Area. The Bay Area is so high, it's crazy. The San Francisco Bay Area is incredibly high, whether it's Marin County, San Francisco County, Alameda County, where Oakland is, or Santa Clara County, where San Jose is, Santa Cruz County. There's some very expensive counties in the Bay Area, and just absolutely insane. I mean, you just be shocked you'd be astonished by some of the prices. Or if you're trying to live in Marin, Bodega Bay, or something like that, and these are places that people like to visit, but try to buy a house there, and you're gonna find out real quick. I mean, houses. I mean, they got houses. They got an apartment for sale in San Francisco. It's 791 square feet, and it's going for $1.2 million. $1.2 million for a closet. For a closet, that's insane. But this is what people pay for it. So you pay for the weather out here. We got a mild climate. It's never too hot, never too cold. So a lot of people like that, and people pay for it. And of course, you got a lot of high-paying jobs as well out here too. But I mean, not a lot of black folks in those jobs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Indians have cornered the market on tech. When it comes to the tech industry, Indians have cornered that market. And it's like I'm telling you that. And when Indians get in power, they gonna hire other Indians. They ain't hiring your black behind. I'm telling you right now, you forget it. In which this is what I tell people. I said I can't get mad at Indians. That's what they're supposed to do. It's only us who think we're supposed to take care of everybody else. Everybody else, when they get in position of power, they look out for their own. We look out for everybody. We need to stop that. We need to start looking out for us and us. Let's be selfish just like everybody else. It's healthy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Just seen in the comments, somebody said the only way you can save is living in a van and showering using, I don't know, paper what. That's the only way you can be able to save. And also someone says, Mtuma says, we need to stay to build the continent, the best piece of real estate on the planet. Okay, I think I was having this conversation earlier on. I said, probably one of the reasons that a number of people move, they would sell everything, give everything to wherever to get to the other side, because they feel like, oh, they've seen some amazing skyscrapers, some beautiful, I don't know what, abroad. You know how the movies, so you want to live that life. And that is also one of the reasons that actually maybe contribute to a person not being able to develop, like personal development, as well as developing the continent, because we all putting our effort and energy, instead of putting the effort and that energy in the right place, in building yourself, in building the continent, we are putting your effort and energy in you working so hard to go abroad to get the papers, whatever it takes to get the papers. So you're putting your energy on the wrong place. And if for those ones who really work, they sell whatever and it doesn't work, it can be very, very frustrating. Some people, they would lose their business, whatever, while trying to get the papers and it doesn't succeed. That's why you're seeing some people, they even have to go through the risky, murky waters of the Mediterranean, just trying to cross to Europe, just, the illusion. But if these people, do you know the effort, that mindset, that determination that you put your mind, you tell yourself, come what may, I must get to Europe, even if it means drowning in the Mediterranean, I have to get. If actually somebody puts that same effort, same mindset, and you told yourself, whatever happens, I have to succeed. If it's a business, whatever happens, this business has to grow. It has, like, there's no two way about it. It's either I'm making it or I'm making it. If I'm not making it, I'm making it more. That's the mindset. I mean, that's the mindset. You need to change the mindset. That if you have that kind of mindset, trust me, you can make it on the continent, however tough it is. Because people spend those thousands of dollars that you're paying to the smugglers to get you to Europe. If you put them in a business and put your whole heart in it, and you knew it's either that, without that, like, it's as if your life depended on it. Trust me, you'll be able to succeed. Besides, you'll sell everything, you will leave, and you'll go the other side. Like I said, you'll never have a home, and here you'd have given up your home. So, in short, you're just homeless because there's no way you can permanently call it now. This is my permanent home. Because on the other side now, you'll go start getting a mortgage for 30 years, 20 years, trying to get a house. And of course, I think people don't get mortgage unless you have a certain amount of deposit and a certain type of job, right? Not very sure.
Yeah, you have to qualify to have to get a a certain type of mortgage. And even here, if you're trying to rent a house, you have to go through qualify to they just still do a credit check, a background check, and you pay for those. Some of them are $50, some $25, $100 to pay for those background checks. So it's not like, even if you wanted to rent a house, you still have to show your driver's license. You got to show. So if somebody just comes over and they paid somebody, like you were mentioning, if they just paid somebody to get them, smuggle them in, and you don't have the proper documentation, you still couldn't, just rent a house, even if you had the money. And don't get it twisted. The what is it called? I cannot think, but the officers that do the immigration officers, they are no joke here. They are no joke here. They will deport you, momentarily, in a minute. So it's not like it's not like it's just easy and you could just kind of sort of blend into the culture and not be, just look at what's happening with with the Hispanics and different people who have the immigrants who are locked down and separated from their children. Why would you even want to put your family or yourself in jeopardy to be locked down forever? And even though the courts have told the president here that in the West, that in my country, that they need to let the immigrants go, allow the children to go and be reconnected, he's done an appeal to keep those children locked up and is not providing sanitary napkins for the women. They're not providing any soap or washing powder. The children don't have blankets at night. Why would you want to put yourself in that position? I would just implore you, please do not do that. Please do not do that.
All right, let's hear from Louis. Louis, unmute your mic.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. My take on this is like right now, like in the last let me just say, since Trump took over, it's been a very tough time for immigrants, right? It has been generally just for black people in general. Let's just say for black people. Like my mother is a very big shot in Baltimore. She is the CEO of a very huge affiliate of the USAID. She makes a lot of money, but still, she is still feeling like she's being oppressed. Can you believe you're like CEO level, and you still feel like the board of directors are looking down upon you just because you're black? So really, I would say if you are making it well in Africa, just stay the course because it's more long term. In Africa, once you're doing well, you're good to go. If you're doing well, your family is doing well, you will make it long term. It's not like the States now where you have to start chasing after pension, where you're not sure whether your pension is guaranteed. That's another thing. your retirement, you might work there for 30 years and you're not sure whether you're going to get paid. So as great as America is, I really would not encourage anybody to go, especially now, if they don't have to. If you're okay where you are, just chill and stay there. Know what I mean?
Are you in America?
No. I came back. I lived in America for 14 years.
Okay.
I used to live in Maryland. Maryland is just outside of DC. I lived there for 14 years, but I came back to Kenya. I came back in 2014.
Why did you come back?
Just there was some family property here. There were so many more opportunities here than in America.
Okay.
And my profession had gotten a bit flooded, by the way. That's another thing. My profession had gotten flooded. There was a lot of guys who were going into it just because they're being told it has a lot of money. So we got a bit flooded. And not being born in America, getting security clearance it's a bit difficult because I'm in the cybersecurity field. I'm in IT, cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Cybersecurity, you have to have to progress. You have to have really high clearances. And the
Okay.
level of clearance I needed to get to proceed, like to go to the big guys level, I couldn't get it just because I was not born in America. It's called top security level. I couldn't get it just because I'm from Kenya. I was born in Kenya. So I couldn't get it. So it just got to a point I was like, you know what? Let me just go back home. I can do bigger things. And I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Life is all right. It's good. I see my people every day.
Do you often go back to the US?
Now there's been a travel ban for the longest. I was supposed to go. I was actually supposed to go in June last month. I'd booked a ticket for June, by the way. I booked a ticket for June the 6th, and that was from last year. But now there was no traveling, courtesy of I heard it's about somebody eating a bat or whatever it was.
All
So
right.
anyway, I couldn't. So still waiting for KLM. Whenever they say they can make things happen, they'll tell me.
All
But
right.
I honestly don't think, because I was given an option of holding on to that ticket or I just get a refund. I'm starting to think I might go for that refund and just wait this thing out, because we really don't know what's going to happen. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. We're dealing with this thing on a day-to-day basis. See, today I don't know, Tigris. I don't know if are you in Nairobi?
I'm in Nairobi. Yes.
You're in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Today we were all just waiting for that. Whatever Uhuru said today, we were all just waiting for that.
Yeah, we're
because
waiting
it
for the
was,
president's address.
because it was going to determine so many things. I had to travel to Mombasa over the weekend to do some business, and it was so rushed because I didn't know what he was going to say today. He could have said today we're going back to cessation of movement. We cannot move.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, a lot of people thought that's what he was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, so you should have seen the movement. People were moving around the country. Like, I'm sure Corona really spread around Kenya over this last weekend because everybody was panicking. They're like, hey, he might say, that's it,
Yeah.
no more moving again. So people are trying to get to wherever they need to be. So like me, I traveled back on Saturday.
Because you didn't
And
want to be in front of Nairobi.
hey, Mombasa, but I stay in Mombasa every day, 3 Gs a day. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Louis. Shola, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate. Theron B, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Someone, Felicia says, I watched a documentary where an African man was trying to come to America with his $22,000 savings. That is what a lot of people do. They sell everything, they use their savings. If only $22,000 is a lot of money. If this person put this money in business and put the same energy and effort in building the business, this business by now, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, it's like 10 times. This person could be making 10 times the value of the money that they put. If only it's all, I believe it's all in the mindset. We need to start changing our mindset, because I believe the mind has a lot to play. When you set your mind on something, when you set your mind that you want to achieve something, you will achieve it. If you set your mind that you want to get to America, sell everything, you'll get there. But now what happens thereafter might shock you. But if you put that money in building, even this $22,000, you can build a very good house here in Kenya. This is sad, because anyway, I really don't blame a lot of people, because I know it's the branding. At some point I was there and I was like, I just wanted to move abroad, but the more you interact with people, the more you travel, you get to see things from a different perspective. Let's hear from the Way Everlasting. Hello. Okay. I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, I think what you just spoke on is actually what I wanted to speak on as well. You know, we see so many people. You know, I just had a conversation with somebody who came from Africa, and they were saying that, you know, the conversation, from what I gained from it, there was a lack of hope that they had for what can happen in Africa. And it was really disheartening to hear that, because, you know, we need to come together as a people. And to what you said, if you have, you know, if you've saved up that kind of money, invest it back in the African continent to take care of, you know, to build business and to build job opportunities for others. You know, we can be supporting each other, we can be helping each other grow. And so, you know, we need people to help push that. We need people to stay in Africa with their ambitions, because it's those people that are ambitious enough to leave Africa are the same people that should be, if you take that ambition and you change it to you redirect your ambition to building up Africa. Those are the same people that will become our leaders and our head, you know, our successful business entrepreneurs, you know, those that can help build the infrastructure of Africa. We need that ambition. Because our people are very ambitious. We are very driven people when it comes to doing anything. So we need to keep that ambition there in Africa and use it to drive us, use it to connect with one another, use it to build up one another spiritually, mentally, so that we can overcome those difficult things that we are facing in Africa. But if everybody leaves to go abroad, to the other point, you know, you come out to abroad, then you realize what you had isn't, you know, you're still going to have to put the same amount of time that you could have put in Africa building up. You still will have to go to any other nation, and you still have to commit that same amount of time to building up your business or to overcoming. You know, people go to school for, you know, 4 to 8 years to try to receive their doctor's degree or master's degree or doctorates. And if, you know, they were to spend that time and that money, they could have built a successful company and then have a lot of business opportunities for our brothers and sisters out there. And so for me, I would really like to see the ambitious entrepreneurs and those that have the drive to, you know, that are in Africa, to stay in Africa and show people it can be done. And by doing so, you will help build the ambitions of the younger generation, and then they can, you know, continue to build up. And so that's what I would, you know, like to see. I would like to see our people really begin to, you know, have that domino effect, you know, stay out there and increase the ambitions of your generation and the younger generations.
All right, all right. Kindly let's hit that like button. We have a lot of people watching. In case you didn't hit the like button, hit that like button right away. Hit the like button, support the stream, hit the super chat. That's the dollar sign just as you're about to comment. Let's hear from Nana. Nana.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Nana.
All right. Yeah, how y'all doing today?
Good.
You know, my take on this issue, actually, you know, it just looks like you actually came up with this video for just me. Yeah, you came up with this video for me because you're talking about if you're living in Africa and you have a business, or if you're doing well, it's no need to buy a ticket or buy a passport if you don't have one and travel to America or Europe. Look, let me give you a little bit of story about my life, and that's the situation I'm in right now, and that's what brought me here. Because when I was back home in Ghana, I had my own business. I was doing very well. You know what I'm saying? And there's no need for me to travel to Europe or to America. But one of my friends was telling me, you know, you can do better. You can expand the business if you travel and you work and you make a little bit of money and you come back. So we gave ourselves 4 years in America to go back home. I've been in America 22 years. My sister, I've been here 22 years. So, you know, the problem is once you come into America, the name America is big that the people back home, my brothers and sisters, don't understand. That if you don't know the system America, you never been to America and you hear the name, you know, you think that the money is flowing on the trees, and you know what I'm saying, that somebody says you go hit on the wall and the money is you know what I'm saying? I got people telling me that, but that's not true because they haven't been here. I'm wanting to go home right now after 22 years. But guess what? I stuck here in America right now for the past 22 years because of them bills that you pay. You work hard to make money, but the system is set the fact that you make the money and then you give the money back to the system. So now it's hard for you as an individual to save this money and then pay all these bills. And then you have a family back home that's blowing your phone every day. So it is true that if you are doing well in Africa, there's no place better than Africa. Look what's going on in America. I live in Boston. I went to California and I saw homeless. I was shocked. And when you're telling people that America has a homeless, then everywhere they says, oh, how can Americans have a homeless? And I said, yeah, you don't believe me, but it's true. So look, and then another thing, African Tigers, you were having a conversation with Brother Frank last time. I was at work and I wanted to get involved with the conversation. Our brothers that go home from here also not helping the brothers back home because they go and stand in front of somebody's $100,000 BMW and they take a picture. They go stood in front of somebody's $200,000 house and they go and it says, this is my house. You're not helping the brothers back home. You don't tell them the truth. Because my son working at the airport in Accra right now, and he was telling me today that they lost hope. Like a brother just said, they lost hope. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he says, you remember when you were sick and you went to the hospital and they take care of you. You have money or you don't. They take care of you. And I said, well, wait, don't get it twisted, because they're going to bill you for that. They're going to send you a bill. And he says, well, but they take care of you, right? But here, they're not going to take care of you. They want the money in front. So if you don't have the money, you die right there. So those are the things that we're talking about. You know, so that's why we want to come to America. And I told him, no, you don't want to come to America. Trust me. You have a job. And he says, well, you know, the people on the top, they take the money, and then the money they're supposed to pay the workers, they give you half the money and they keep the rest of the money. It is true. So, you know, they hear a lot of things about America, but they don't know what's going on. Trust me, I've been in this country, and I'd rather be in Africa now. I wanted to leave so bad. I'm just getting ready every single day. Right now, talking to you, I'm still packing my stuff. Okay, I want to go home. I'm tired. I worked so hard. Listen, I'm 60 years old. 60 years old. My son is over 30-some years old. And when I left the country, he was only 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of things. My father has a lot of cocoa land. And when he passed away and I'm not there, everything went all wrong. And it's because of the name of America. So like a brother said, if you, like y'all saying, if you doing well in Africa, you don't need Europe. You don't need America. Okay, because we got a lot of opportunities in America. I know that if I stay back home right now, I can tell you that I will be one of the millionaires in Africa and have the businesses everywhere. But I left it, I sold the business, and then I bought the ticket and I traveled to Europe. And from Europe, I came to America. And then when I get to America, even the people that from America struggle. I work with people that struggle, crying every day, can't even pay their bill. Like right now, the pandemic is going on. A lot of people that depend on government, waiting for money, waiting for the second stimulus checks is not coming, and they're crying. I work for a retail store as assistant manager, and I see people coming and cry to me every day. You know, so when I look at all that, and I'm like, really? And you know, and you're never going to get to their level. Never going to get to their level if you're black. And I know that I got my brothers and sisters on the platform right now. Listen to me, and y'all know what I'm talking about. I've been working a company for 7 years. But let me tell you something. There's no respect for me as a black man or an African man that worked so hard, delegate, okay, for a company for 17 years. They treat you like you're nobody. And all these things, sometimes I think about it. And then even the money they're supposed to give you, they give you a raise for a penny. A penny, they give you a raise, not even 10 cents, a penny, because you're black. But the other people around you got 25 cents, got $1, got a 50 cents, but they give you a penny. And you know what they said to you? They said, oh, it's coming from the corporate. So if you want, you can call the corporate. So there's a lot of things that's going on in America. And you're a witness. You can be a witness to that America is not what the people think it is. So we got to be honest and tell the brothers and sisters back home that if you have something going on in Africa, Africa is big. You can go anywhere. Please just stay right there. And let's tell our brothers and sisters, the ones that we hear in America and all over abroad, tell them that it's not the way it is. It's not the way they hear about, oh, America is so, yes, there's a jobs everywhere. You can get a job. But trust me, it's not easy to make it. It's hard. I don't make a six figure. I am not a doctor. I'm not a teacher. I am not a police officer. I'm not a firefighter. I don't have a PhD. It's just a high school diploma. That's it. I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, I'm gonna say this last time, and I'm gonna somebody else to talk, right? African Tigress, African people also depending on the government so much. Why? Because look, I was watching a guy from London. He came to Ghana and started the juice company. Young people think that farming or agriculture belongs to the old people. It's not true. They don't want to get into agriculture. They don't want to get into farming because look, you depend on government so much, then you will say, oh, we have no hope. I wasn't dependent on government. It was tight, but I was doing it on my own because everybody, our people in the globe, our people, our black people, they're all entrepreneur. They're all business people, women, men, children, all business people. So you don't depend on a government and says the government is not making the country better, so I'm going to Europe. No, you got to do something for yourself. What are you doing for your country and for yourself? Don't look at what government's doing because we gotta corrupt the leaders in Africa. Yes, we do. That is a problem we having, corrupt African leaders. Okay, look at France. France just to sign, just that last month, 2-3 months ago, they signed. I know you know what I'm talking about, right? They signed a petition that the African people now can actually withdraw their money from the France bank or something like that. How long the France been colonized Africa? For years, just 2-3 months ago. Okay, so they make the system that the Africans will never develop, and the Africans, because they put African on the table like a breakfast when they meet in a Berlin conference 135 years ago. So we got to stand up and we got to do it for ourselves. We got to do it. We got to, encourage our youths, because I sit here and then see brothers and sisters dying in the sea trying to get to Italy. I've been to Italy. It's not, you don't even want to go to Italy. What are you doing over there? I've been to Germany. I've been to all over the place. If I tell you the countries I've been to, you won't believe me before I get to America. All these places, they don't like you. What are you doing? If you got something going on, brothers and sisters, you listen to me, please stay in Africa. You can make it there. Listen to what a man from England living in Ghana, okay, employs 600 people. Listen to what he said. He said everything in the world is coming from this land. So I don't understand why people leave and go to London and go to Europe. That's what he said. Thank you very much, people.
I have a question before you go. You said you moved to the US 22 years ago. After how long did you realize that it wasn't for you? Was it immediately?
Nope, it wasn't immediately. Thank you. No, it wasn't. It wasn't immediately. You know why? Because when I came in and I was doing 2-3 jobs, I was working 2-3 jobs because I have no wife and I have no children and I have no girlfriend or whatever. Hey, that wasn't my plan anyway. So working 2-3 jobs, don't sleep. Okay, so I worked, I believe it was 14 years. I was in America around 14 years when I realized that there's a lot of things that are going wrong back home, okay, after my father, because when I came here, I don't remember the year my father and my mother passed away a month apart. But that's why I realized, no, this is not right. I gave myself 4 years and I've been here 14 years. I have to go home. But then when I started saving the money, there's something called 401k. So now I started putting money away 401k. So I took the 401k money and I built a 6-bedroom house. So after I built the house, I said, you know what? It's time for me to go home. Okay, because look, when I left Africa, our president at that time, it was really bad in Ghana. Okay, it was bad because this man was killing people because you can't even say anything. See, here people talk about Donald Trump. They say Trump this, Trump that. No, you say something, the next day, you're just going to get missing. That's it. They will pick you up in the night and they will kill you. And that's why I left Ghana. And that's one of the reasons why. So it didn't take, I didn't realize it immediately that now I have to go home or this and that. No, it took me a little while because I was making the money. And guess what? That's one thing too. One thing I'm going to talk about it. When you come here and you're making the money, 2-3 jobs and you're getting a paycheck, and if you're not thinking about Africa and you're going to go and spend this money You spend it buying this, buying that, buying that. You know what? I was doing that. I was doing a lot of buying things I don't need because I'm in America. So after 14 years, I realized that I'm stupid. That all this money I make, I should build like a 500 apartments, like maybe 5-6 store building in Africa. But I wasted all that money. Okay, so after 14 years, it's where I get serious, very serious. I wasn't even in contact with anybody at home. Nobody knows where I was. Okay, so after 14 years, I remember that after 14 years is what I started calling home. My wife that I get married to, she divorced me. She divorced me because she couldn't hear from me. And that's another thing too. I was married. She divorced me because she couldn't hear from me and she couldn't make it by herself. So she left me. You know what I'm saying? She left me till today. She left me. Okay. And so your question is, you know, when I came in here, now it's a 1 year or 2 years when I realized, no. African Tigress is after 14 years. And I remember that 14 years after I wasted all the money. I used to work in a hotel. Brothers and sisters online, if you know New York City, there's a biggest hotel in New York City called Astoria Hotel. The second biggest hotel is a Marriott Hotel. And I used to work in a Marriott Hotel in New York City. And if I tell you that I didn't make money, I lie to you. And in Manhattan, I used to make a lot of money. 3 jobs. But I wasted all that money. And then after 14 years, it's why I realized that I'm making a mistake. But it's too late. Now, I'm older now. So it's hard for me to work 2 jobs. Only 1 job now. Okay? But now I get serious. I can't work 2 jobs anymore. But I can't make that money anymore. So the little money I'm making is what I'm trying to save and live. So I don't know if that's going to answer your question. I'm not sure, African Tigress.
Sure. Yeah, just you said it's after 14 years that you realized, wow. What an experience. Wow. I don't even know what to add to that, but well, maybe that should also be for those ones who are listening with the plans of living. Well, I hope you get to learn something from it, because of course I know a lot of people, initially it's always exciting, and as you mentioned, yes, it's exciting when people leave the first time. They want to buy all these brand, they want to save up, buy Louis Vuitton. They'll take photos and show us on how they're rolling. They're buying the LVs, they're buying Gucci, they're buying all these big brands. So the first years before, I think people, I don't know what happens, especially in the first years that people leave, people travel. They just want to save and get all those things probably they desired and they never had them. Because maybe when you're living in Africa, whichever country you are not able to buy maybe an iPhone. But now here you've been given an option of getting an iPhone, and you're going to be paying only $50 per month for a certain period of time. You are not able to own a car. Now you've bought a car, you're paying a certain amount of money over time. Or you can get Louis Vuitton, you can get, all those like luxury stuff that you always see, celebrities, because a lot of people, like I said, the media, the image that has been painted by the media is what makes them move. So when they get there, they want to live that life. So the first few years, the money they would save, even the money that they would have sold their stuff in Africa and saved, they are going to use it for that. So you realize initially when people move, they are all over social media trying to show us on how they're living their best lives and all that. And then suddenly they disappear. You don't see them posting on social media again. You don't see them showing off again. You wonder what happened. Anyway, let's hear from Black Opal. But before
African Tigress, I'm sorry, before you go. So look, before you get somebody in there, listen. So now what I'm doing is the brothers and sisters that coming from Africa. I got a sister that came in here like 6 months ago, and she moved to Arizona, And I sat the sister down. I said, listen, I made this mistake when I came here. Don't make the same mistake. Look, for 1 year now, the sister worked 2 jobs and bought 4 plots in Ghana already, just a 1 year. She called me last week and she says, my brother, thank you so much. Now I sent the money home and I bought 4 plots already. And I'm going to start building because I'm working 2 jobs. I have no kid, no husband. So I'm working 2 jobs and I'm going to do it right now. Just 1 year. She bought 4 plots already. And then somebody being here 30 years and they didn't even buy a bicycle tire. You know what I'm saying? So I'm encouraging everybody that comes in. You got to do this. You got, because America, there's no peace in this country.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think from what you say, it's very important to get the right advice. Like a lot of people don't have that. Probably they don't have advice. You see, it's maybe the lady was easy to listen to you. It was easy for the lady to listen to you because you were telling the person from experience. And for those
That's
people
right.
who don't have people to advise them on issues to do with finances, it becomes a challenge. So they go on spending, living big, showing off instead of saving. Okay.
That's right.
And one thing you mentioned though, you mentioned about there were people who are expecting you to send them money home. Do you think if you were not sending money back home, you could have saved a lot?
Well, yes, that is also another problem that as Africans they come to America or anywhere in abroad. That's one thing that a lot of people don't know, that we have extended family that we paying bills here, but we paying bills over there. I said I send a lot of money, I can't even count, but I'm going to tell you the years I've been here, I probably send over $25,000 to $30,000. But today, if you ask them a penny, they can't even get that to show you. And that's why I realized that, look, to send all this money, how about we start a business? So one of the sisters over there, I said, why don't you find a place and buy a container? I'll pay for it, and then you start a business. And she says, yeah, I will do that. So today, she have her own business right there. And I said, that business is not for me. It's for you. Because if I give you $1 million, you're going to spend it. You know, so it is true. If I'm not sending all this money, okay, I would say that after the 14 years, now I'm smart right now, because now I realize that I need to save money, because the strength is not going to be there every day. You're getting older every single day. Look at me right now. I'm 60-some years old and I can't work like before anymore. So it's time for me to go home, but I don't have that money. I have to plan well to go home. I can't just get up and just buy a plane ticket and go home. So yeah, that's another problem too, that are African people. But don't get me wrong too. Some people don't even care. Some people, they won't send the money. They won't even help the family. But that's not me. I was helping the family because I know what the family go through over there when you don't have a job. So I have to help them, and I have to split my paycheck and send it to them every month. Right now, as I'm talking to you, my last born is in college, university in Ghana. I have to send him money every single month. I have to send him money every month. You know, so that's one thing we go through too. You know, that's the money we can probably save, but we can't save because we have to help our people.
All right, thank you so much. There's someone who wants to add on that, but hold on. Let's hear from Black Opal. Black Opal, you'll need to unmute your mic if you can hear me.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, you wanted to contribute to this?
Okay. Well, I want to mention about, I feel like if people feel like they want to come and see you, but I feel like people need to lower their expectations. I feel like a lot of times the expectation is really high because people think they can just come here, get a job tomorrow, and you'll be rich, and that's just not realistic. And one reason for why people in the beginning are making so much money, because usually when you first come here, you're living with someone. Most people who come here, you're living with your brother or sister or whoever. You don't just come and you get a house. Usually you're living
That's
with
right.
someone, and sometimes groups of people in very small space for a long period of time. When my father came here, him and his brothers all lived together with my uncle's wife and kids for years, until my father finally was able to save up and move into an apartment with his friends, and then he was able to get a house. And though it was a long period of time. And then
That's right.
also you got to think about the fact, okay, what kind of jobs are you going to work? You're not going to come here and get these well-paying jobs, especially if you don't have
Uh-uh.
papers. If you don't have papers, you're going to be probably be working under the table. And so you're going to be getting like half minimum wage. If minimum wage is the minimum amount you need to live, half of that, you're just not going to survive. So I feel
That's
like
right.
the expectation really needs to be lowered. And yes, there's some people who come here and get successful. That's fine. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into that as well. Just because people have a lot of money doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't matter how much you make in America, it's always a daily struggle because the lifestyle is different.
Mm-hmm.
There's constant bills. And I feel like people don't, back at home, don't get that. Like when I try to explain it to family back at home, they just think, like, they see you have a car, they just think you have a car. It's like, no, I did not buy my car outright. I am paying monthly for it. If I miss a
Thank you,
payment,
my sister.
they will drive my car off my property and like I won't even have a way to get to work. So it's not as simple as people think.
Thank you.
um Especially these days, if you come here, it's better to come here with the green card lottery, because it's not like how it was before 9/11, where you could be here for years without papers and you were fine. Now things are very difficult. It's
Mm.
very difficult to even get simple jobs. So that's another thing. And another thing with sending money back home, a lot of us here are struggling, and then we're struggling on top of that because we're literally supporting people, like whole households back at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently, like, I could talk about that all day, to be honest, but I recently had to literally block people from my phone, my siblings, because it's just like you're sending money to people every week, money you don't really have, and you're thinking, oh, I'm helping these people, but they're just eating the money. And when they can call you all day, and it's like, don't you have a job? And then you sit back and realize, no, they don't have a job. You're their job. You're sending the money. Why should they work? And yeah, not everyone is like that, but that's a lot of the case, where we start sending money because we think we're helping family, but they're thinking it's just free money. And even when you try to open business with some of them, they don't even do what they're supposed to do. So that's another thing. I feel like some of us are enabling our family members back at home, especially when you're constantly sending money. They feel like, oh, you are rich over there in America because you send me money all the
That's right.
time. But that's just not the case. I know a lot of people who are sending money back home, but are grown men sharing a bedroom with another grown man because they can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment for themselves. So they share rooms. Sometimes you can see it's four grown men in a shared room, and and they're struggling. And it's so we really do have to be realistic. If you're comfortable at home in Africa, it makes absolutely no sense to come here. It makes no sense. Or unless you like being in poverty and struggling. I mean, sure. I just don't get it. When you hear people say, "Oh, they saved up 22K to come to America," I'm like, I'm even in America. I wish I had 22K. Who does that? Like, I don't understand that. People, like Dinah said on one of his videos, when he was in Nigeria, the taxi driver was saying how one of his friends in America, in LA, making $12 an hour. And to the taxi driver, he thought that was a lot of money. $12 an hour in LA, you are probably sharing a room with another grown man. There's no way you're going anywhere with $12 an hour in LA. That's just
Hmm.
the real truth. But people don't get it. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we as people in diaspora, we have to be honest. And also, I think the power of social media is great, because what you're going to see the West show, they're not going to show the truth. America's not going to show you the ghettos. They're not going to show you the slums that are plenty of them are here, and a lot of our people live in them because we just can't afford anything else. They're not going to show you Skid Row. they're just not going to do that. But they're quick to show you all the worst villages in Africa, but they're not going to
That's
show you
right.
that. So I feel like it's our responsibility to be honest and transparent. And through our platforms and on social media, like YouTube, we have to show the truth. That's why, like now with all these protests, people are the world is really seeing the true picture of this country where, America doesn't have a control over the narrative, because there's a lot that is going on here and has gone on here that people just don't know and are not aware of. So we do have to
Oh,
be honest. I mean, if you have money saved up, if you're doing well, it makes literally no sense. It's like that's just you're downgrading your life. I mean, if you're interested in downgrading your life, then go ahead. But if you are struggling back at home, if you have an opportunity to come, sure, but lower your expectations, because you will be so disappointed.
Oh, something happened.
You will be very disappointed when you come. That's all I have to say.
all right. Thank
Yo,
you
can
so
I
much
just let me
for
just
sharing.
can I just jump in on that just real quick?
Okay, then we'll do the next jump
I
in
have
the
a
next.
friend who
Go ahead.
sorry again, sorry. Now I was just saying I have a friend who's he lives in Virginia. I think it's in Richmond. And the mother keeps asking me, this guy is always posting pictures on Facebook. He's posing in front of Benzes, he's looking like he's doing well. And honestly, I had to send let me not just but we're being real. I
11.
sent her like
Oh,
I sent her 5Gs last month. I sent her 5,000 last month, because she didn't even have food in the digs.
mm,
So she was like, my boy keeps posting pictures because apparently, okay, the sister is here. So the sister was keeps showing the mom pictures of how well he's doing. I did some research on that guy. That guy he's not doing well. So why are we pretending? Guys are just there. You're posing on a Benz. You tend to look like everything is going well, like you're doing it big, but you're not. You are like she said, you're staying like 10 guys in a two-bedroom apartment. You're not doing well. So when people over here see that, they're like, wow, that's the life I want to live. I want to drive a Benz. That is the life I want for myself. But that's not what's happening on the ground. People are struggling. Like I really just had to dig deep. I had to look for money. I had to borrow because she was like, she doesn't even have, she was like, stima imezimwa, hata sina pesa ya gas, hata sahii napika na kuni. Guy, imagine somebody's mom telling you that, yani, and that's your boy. Imagine your close buddy's mother telling you that. It makes you feel so like, why are you lying? Then stop posting these pictures because you're giving guys a false impression of what really is happening. Don't do that. Like I never like, but then when I was in the States, I never used to post. I never used to post those pictures. I remember when we're out, we're bowling, we're having drinks, life is good. No,
The other thing,
because it's
mhm.
just for maybe a week. Then you go back to reality. You do that for like a week, then you go back to reality. Don't make people think because they'll see that and that's the picture they will save, and then they'll be like, ha.
And they will start
Then those
trying
phone
to
calls will
work
start
so
coming.
hard so that they can
Ah,
come join you and live the life.
Mtoto ati enda pale embassy nitumie documents. I'm like, boss, unakuja kufanya nini huko? What are you coming to do? Also, you're coming. You haven't even finished
The
high
other,
school. You didn't even finish
mhm.
high school. Yani, you don't even have a high school diploma. My goodness, where are you gonna start in America? You don't even have a high school diploma. Where are you gonna start? You'll probably go into construction. If even you can get into it. If even. So like people really need to stop lying and just get real. Just people need to just get real. Like me, it got to a point I was doing well, but I had so many responsibilities that
damn, what's going
what I
on?
was paying to maintain my standard of living, what I'm sending and everything, I ended up being I keep swiping my card all the time. I'm like, why? When I'm making good chums, I shouldn't be. I shouldn't even be thinking about using my credit card. But it gets to a
My,
point you realize trying to look like you're doing well, you're ending up in debt trying to look good.
Okay.
So you just have to be real with yourself and just get to a point and say, hey, you know what? I can't keep lying. Is my whole life just going to be a lie?
I think about
I am
that
struggling here. I'm dying. People are dying
too.
of heart attacks.
Okay. Okay. Let's hear from Emeka. Emeka wanted to add on this, and then Emeka.
Yeah. Just to what the previous brother was saying, as far as helping family back home and things like that, it definitely, and I think the sister added to it. When you're helping family back home and you become their paycheck, you become their paycheck. It really it hinders them from taking the mentality they should have to be a contributor to help their family, and that's what has happened as people have gone abroad sending money back home. People back home have felt that they've gotten this lazy mentality, this lazy man mentality, to where they just are looking to receive and not work for themselves, to build up something for themselves. A man shouldn't be waiting for another man or a woman to support their family or themselves. If you need money to help you get established or to help you go to school to get funding, so that you can learn a trait and then be able to take that on, there's nothing wrong with that. But to be continuously paying somebody, giving them money, and they're relying on you now, and they're not looking to rely on themselves, we become a hindrance for our own people, and we need to really put our foot down and say, listen, I'm going to be helping you, but not just to help you forever. At some point, this is going to get cut off, and you need to build yourself up so that you can stand on your own 2 feet. And so I definitely sympathize with the people who are in that predicament, and have been, to be honest, it's somewhat you're being taken advantage of. I sympathize for them, because we shouldn't be in that position. And I myself have family abroad, and they know me. Like, I'm not with that. I'm not with calling me every week or once a month for your issues. Like, I know if it was life sustaining, I would know, because it would come through a resource, and then I would know how serious it is. But because it's coming from somebody directly, I am hesitant, to give, in those circumstances. So, when we also talk about, as the brother had mentioned, establishing something back home, the people that come to the US or to the anywhere abroad to gain, to gain opportunity, you have to come with a plan. And I think, like the brother just mentioned it best, your plan can't be to put on a facade, put on an image, a fake image, and act as if you are bigger than what you are. You need to have a game plan. And if your game plan should be, which from what I hear, most people that come abroad, their game plan originally is to send money back home, so that, or learn to return back home to help. They need to begin to stick with that game plan. We get sidetracked by Hollywood and the image that Hollywood gives us, and the standard that Hollywood gives us. And to the brother and Tigris, to your point, you need to understand the value of agriculture. If our people understood the value of agriculture, farming, doing these things, supporting our people, we would have no problem at all. We would have no problem sustaining our people, our family, being able to sustain ourselves. The land in Africa is rich everywhere. We should be able to produce the things that we need, and in a variety, so that the markets are filled with our own produce and things that we use, and we should be able to sell it to one another and not have to worry. But instead, as you said, farming is now looked at as an ancient pet. Me personally, I like the first opportunity I get, I'm looking to buy land, hopefully in Nigeria to farm, you know, or in any other country where the opportunity opens up to farm. I have some big plans for Nigeria, for any other continent that will receive me to help bring, these industries up, to help rebuild and then teach the youth also in them. We have to begin to teach the youth the value of these industries, and that's where we're losing it. Like you said, it becomes a farming becomes an older man thing. It becomes the ancient, the gray headed, the business of the gray headed, and it's like, no, these are the things that sustain us in life. You take farming away from the world, and what will people eat? You know, what will people survive on? It's always going to be necessary. It's always going to be a necessity. Just as gas is to the car, so is agriculture and farming to the world. People need food to survive, and so I would really like to see people that come here take the mentality to send money back, as the brother said, but use it to buy plots of land to where you can develop and develop these industries and bring these things to value amongst our people again, so that we can sustain ourselves and you know yeah, be beneficial.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Lastly, I wanted to just final word advice to that person, that African brother and sister who wants to move abroad. Like, what are your final words or advice to that person? Let's hear from God.
Hello.
Hey.
And I want to advise everybody, don't go anywhere. Yes, stay home and work there. Abroad, nobody is waiting for you. They have the clochard, they have clochard is homeless. They have the homeless in the West. So don't think there are no homeless. There are a lot in all big cities in the West. Start from Canada down to Mexico and then Western Europe. They have all big cities. Maybe the best country in the world is Luxembourg. Do you know about it? It's maybe the richest country in the world, Luxembourg. I've been there. I've been everywhere. So I know. I've been in Luxembourg in five-star hotels. That's why I just say, stay home. Luxembourg has been built by people. We can do it the same in Africa. When Josue took power 2 years ago, I think, Miss Liberia, are you listening? I called, to Liberia. I said that I want to work for Josue when he became president. I couldn't get connection and I just leave the whole business. So I'm working for them soon and they are getting the profit. I have a lot of knowledge, but if nobody wants to employ me in Africa, then I have to work for those who want the knowledge. See? Can I continue? Stay home, do business, and people abroad don't send money. It's not the solution. You are creating a big problem. At the moment you can't send money again, then there's a problem. Help people who are studying, help people who want to do business. 50-50. You put half of the money if they have to put half. But don't send money to eat. You are not their paycheck. When you can't send money, then they have a problem. Business
Okay.
you have to start.
All right. Thank you so much, God. I hear you. Louis, if you can hear me, unmute your mic. Last words, advice to our brothers and sisters.
What can I say? I'd say the best thing is just do your research. You know, these days we have the internet. Don't buy into the hype. Just take time. Even if you have an opportunity, if really you have an opportunity, if you're going there and you have a job, for example, if you have a job that's going to pay you well, yeah, just give it a shot. But if you're going there to start from scratch, unless you have a very good support system, unless you have like a pack of family and friends that are going to support you for a while until you get situated, you really will struggle. You will struggle. I've seen people go for the last so many years, and in and in a year we are doing a harambe for them to come back. So it's like don't rush into it unless you're going there, you have something you're going to do. Don't just go there because of the hype. It's not that great right now. The West is not that great as it's not as good as it used to be. So just try and find alternatives unless it's your last choice. Try and find alternatives. If you can find an alternative here, especially in Kenya or in Africa, if you can find something to do it here. Nobody, when you get there, nobody's your friend. Even your own relatives, by the way, they can even, hey, you can fight even with your cousins. I've seen siblings fight because one guy is like, hey, Bana, I've been hosting you for 3 years now. Even you have to do something. I'm tired. I can't just be hosting you all the time. I'm buying you food, etc., etc. So I'll just be like, unless you know what you're going to do there, just don't even bother. Just stay home. Just stay home. Just slap us. Just slap the police here. Deal with them. Find something to do. You'll find something eventually. At some point, you'll find something. It is better
Okay.
because at least you're home. There's no discrimination here. You're not dealing with that Black Lives Matter nonsense. You don't have to deal with it here. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Thank you so much, Louis. I appreciate it. Temilade, thank you so much for the super chat. The reading poet, I appreciate your super chat. Felicia, asante sana. Emeka,
Yes. My words of advice to those would be, um, if you plan on going abroad and you have money saved up, what I would say is similar to what the other gentleman said, is that, you make some plans to stay at home, make some plans to stay in your land, to build up in your land. Know the value of our agriculture, know the value of farming, because it is an industry that will never die. It is an industry that will never die. Take time. If you haven't, if you don't have the skills, continue to work, save up, and go find someone who can teach you the skills that you need to begin agriculture, and invest your money in yourself and begin to work. Begin to work, because the amount of time that you would come abroad to do those things, to build up, you can build yourself something back in your homeland. You can build yourself a business and industry, and you can make it in your homeland. Just have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Know that if you work hard and you continue to work hard, that you will make it. But you have to have faith in yourself and do the things that are right. Do the things that are right. Um, because you come here, and like brother said, by the time you spent all the money, you got here, you came here with you're back at the bottom level, trying to work yourself back up again. So use what you have and invest into those things that we know will always be necessary and key factors in life. Begin to invest in agriculture, buy land, begin to farm it, begin to produce the things that the world needs, and also we need in our own land. You know, and don't give up hope, because those you people who have the dream of going abroad, who are ambitious, you are the energy that Africa needs to build up. You have the energy that Africa needs to build up. So keep it there and use it, and be a light to those, you know, that are under you and younger than you. Don't give up. Don't give up on your land. Don't give up on Africa, because Africa can do great things if we have great people there. So that is my advice.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's hear from Hex GP.
Hello, salama. Nansikia?
Yep. Kabisa, yes.
Salama dada. Naona umetoka Kenya au?
Yes.
Natoka Tanzania. Just kuongea na Mswahili kwa muda. I'll speak English, so don't worry.
Oh, all right.
So I'm new to your channel. O'Shea sent me, I think. He basically plugged your channel one time and I just joined in. I want to just say one thing. Do you know Odemaya first? Odemaya from YouTube.
Yep.
Yes, so he was interviewing an African American who started a firm here in Ghana. And that reminded me and my brother had the same kind of idea. But I'm just 22 and I'm a university student in computer science. So I want to do something like that. But what he said, basically, what was important is that when you think of chocolate, the chocolate industry is like worth about $200 billion a year. And most of the chocolate is made up of sugar, cocoa, and vanilla. Vanilla comes from Madagascar, most of it. Chocolate most comes from, I think, Ghana, and then sugar comes from Brazil. But they only make like a third of the profit. So I looked at that and I realized that we really do support the entire world. If Africa was not there, the world would look a lot different today. And that made me think, because my father, when he said I was almost born in America, and he told me that we had to move back to Tanzania. And when I was born there, he bought land. I don't know how many, but he bought several pieces of land. Eventually, they summed up to about $60 million in today's money. And he could technically sell them to the government and live off that. However, he said that he wanted to build something on it. He built a house, but when he bought the land, he basically almost went broke. We were living with an uncle of ours, me, him, and my mom and my brother. We're basically living in one house that, like about 17 people in one house. And he told me, as much as he regret, doing that, he should have thought better, but he really was confident in buying that land, because now we live very well. He's planned for my college, and he's basically took me here to the University of Houston. I'm basically working in computer science. I'm just studying it, but eventually me and my brother want to do the same, because me and him are gonna inherit those land. And when I see your channel, I was like, I get a little bit impatient, because I wish I could do it right now. But then I would be doing something my father is saying, don't, just focus on your bachelor's. And he's right. But to me right now, I look at Tanzania. When I left, I was about 18. And right now I'm 22. Now they're building, I think, standard gauge railway. And so because of that, I realized that the country is moving so fast. And probably in the next 5 years, I don't know how it's going to look like, but it might be very different, because I'm finishing my bachelor's about next year. And that really made me think that there are a lot of people here who keep talking to me and say, yo, I want to come to Africa, but they don't really know much about it. And I'm not, I know what in my part of Africa means in Tanzania, but I can't really tell them that they should come there and expect the best. I'm just not educated enough to know. That's all I'm trying to say, basically. Okay. But to anyone else, is basically, I just wanted to share that. I mean, I really am in a position where I can probably make a change, But my brother's the oldest one, and he's the one who's basically got more of a chance because he's already working as an architectural designer, and he's got 2 more years to become an architect. And then he's gonna, probably buy land. Well, he's not gonna buy land, but he's gonna build something there, like similar to that person, that man who started an entire like plaza of real estate. Basically, that's what his plan was. But yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Hex. I appreciate your input. Let's hear from Success Nation.
Well, my last word would be pretty much to my brothers and to everybody else would be if you have family out here sending you money, you need to invest that money in established business instead of just gimme, which is the lifestyle like most of our people back home, like everybody else have been saying. So it will be listen to the person who is here. Nobody's trying to stop you from progressing. Nobody's trying to make you not to be successful. If you think that the West is the only place that you can be successful, okay, well, I pray and hope that it works out for you that you come here so you can see, maybe you will be successful. It's just, So my thing would be just to first, like you were saying, sis, try to invest your energy into making a business. Like for me, instantly, for example, I have tried to help my siblings. I have tried to help them to establish businesses that never just went anywhere. And in the next minute, can I have money? Can I do this? Can I do that? And if you're not a selfish person, you keep on giving. And like I said, I do have 3 children, and we're not we're not living our best life. So so yeah, just don't exploit the person who is helping you. And if you get help, use that get that help and make it bigger so that way you won't have to depend on the person who is sending you that money. And also try your hardest to invest where you are. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Most of us think that it is, but it's not. So maybe we should try to kind of like pay more attention to where we are, because most of us, when we're back home, our entire attention is just on the West. That we don't even care where we're living. We're not worried about anything underground where we are, because to us it's bad. The West is the best. The West is the best. So the flashy light. So I would say, like, turn off the lights and try to invest more. And if you get money, somebody blesses you, use that money and establish your business so you can become independent. So that way, you can't continue to be a leech, just sucking somebody's blood or sucking, all day. That would be my last take on that. Like, we all just need to work together, listen to each other. Like the brother that spoke earlier, that's a testimony. Like, because he is someone who have done it, been there, done that, and then his age speaking. Those are people we need to listen to, because he can tell you, and if you don't listen to him, then what? You see? So it's one of those things where it's like in the Bible, there was a guy in the scripture who, I think Lazarus, I believe, he went to hell or down way to the pit there, and it was so dry, no water. And so he was like, he wants to go and tell his brothers. He wants to go and tell his brothers where he is so they don't come there. And so, and then I'm just going to paraphrase it. It was said to him that, well, they have all the messengers, they have all these people telling them not to do what it is that they're doing. If they don't listen to them, they're not going to listen to the guy who come from the dead. So pretty much it's one of those things where you got to listen to the guy who come from the dead. You got to listen to the messenger. Listen to the messenger, because you will save yourself. You can be like that brother. You can be a millionaire like my friend. I have a co-worker who left Nigeria, left everything there to come here in search of the American dream. So everything. They were living good life. They were CEO or bosses. People were working for them. Now you come here, you're wiping people butt. You're wiping people nasty butt. Like, how do you come from being high there to now being at the bottom in search of the American dream. So we need to start searching and just listen to the people who are here, who are giving you the nuggets. Take it and run with it.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Let's hear from hey, someone is joining the stream. Innocent. We are finishing. We're winding up. We're winding up now. What did you have to say in 1 minute?
Yeah, shout out to the chat, shout out to the panel, shout out to everyone in the stream. I'll be really brief with this one. I'm gonna disagree initially with the premise of not coming to the West. I will say it is not for everybody though. Just a couple of points I'd like to make. If you are embarking on that endeavor, plan your exit upon entry. Know when you've achieved your goal and you can return to your home country or repatriate to any country you wish to in the motherland. Beware of mental issues that come up. Lots of Africans are not aware that when you get to the West, you are isolated. It's not the same communal environment as you have in Africa. So it's always good to exercise, communicate, participate with your local people. If sending money back, I've heard people say they send money back and people get lazy and all that stuff. If you're sending money back, assign tasks to that money you're sending back, except if it's to your parents and stuff. But yeah, it tends to cause laziness if you just send money willy-nilly. And yeah, if you are embarking on that endeavor, go to the West, make your money, achieve your goals, and come back while the iron is still hot before you lose connection to the homeland. That's all I had to add.
All right, thank you so much, Innocent. I appreciate. Black Opal, let's hear from Black Opal concluding this.
Okay, my last advice would be if anyone wants to come and can come, you should come, but you should definitely have a plan. Don't plan on coming here and staying forever, or unless that's what you want to do. But also, you should be lower your expectation and be willing to do whatever. Because if you come here and you're thinking you're going to be set up in the house, and you come here and you end up in somebody's basement sharing a bedroom, you need to be mentally ready for that. You need to be ready to do whatever it takes, because it is possible to come here with very little and make it big, and also, make a positive difference back home. But you have to have that in plan. If you come here for the wrong reasons, or you come here without a plan, things can go left real quick. You get caught up, and that's why a lot of people are here 14, 20 years without papers, and then now they're stuck. A lot of your family members will die back home. You can't even go and travel. You should come with a plan and come being serious. If you are lazy, don't come, because we don't need any more homeless people here. If you have to really, really come with a plan. I know a lot of my family members say they only sponsor the ones who are serious to come, because you sometimes which family members aren't going to make it here. You know which ones. The ones who just want to sit around and receive checks, you're not going to bring them here, because we already have enough of that. You have to be real serious. And I believe that if you have the opportunity, everybody should come to go to whatever Western nation. A lot of these countries were built off of Africa, so you should come and see what your gold has done. Especially UK, you should come and see UK, see what your gold and resources have built, but have a plan and be serious. The worst thing to be is homeless in the West. You'd rather be doing okay at home, where you have family, but here it's just, so yeah, just have a plan. And if you can come, but lower your expectations. That's all.
All right, thank you so much, Black Opal. I appreciate your time and contribution. All right. Thanks to everybody who's been part of the panel today. I appreciate your contribution. Thanks to everybody who super chatted, supported the stream. I appreciate your donation. It goes a long way. Thanks to everybody who's been in the stream, your comments, questions, or something before I forget. People mention farming often. It's fairly easy to set up a farm. Is it fairly easy to set up a farm and sell what you grow and export it? That was a question from the reading poet. I think setting up a farm is not a problem, but the issue with exporting, you really have to find who is going to I think you need connection on the other side where you're exporting to, who is receiving it, the standards. Every country has standards of maybe chemicals, in case you used chemicals or whatever you used. The quality, how does it look? So I think exporting, you'll need to learn, or maybe get someone who's in the industry and learn from it. Get to see what are the standards, what do they want, and for that country, how are the taxes? How are you going to export whatever you're exporting, the clearance and forwarding. I don't know much about import and export, but yeah, I think you can try and learn from somebody who's in the industry. That one would really help. But I know a lot of people who are doing the import and export business. So in case I get to know someone, I would really, I would love to host them. Maybe they would be able to help you with information on import and export. So thanks to everybody who's been part of the platform, part of the chat. Thanks. We're growing pretty fast. I'm excited. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep sharing our videos. Let's keep inviting more people to join the family. We are now at 26.6 thousand. 2 days ago, we were at just 26. So we're getting like 1,000 people every 5 days. It's quite exciting. Let's get to 30,000 soon. Keep sharing my videos. I appreciate your love and support. Let's grow. So for those ones who want to learn Kiswahili, I do offer classes on Patreon. Let me just drop the link. More classes coming tomorrow. And you can as well just support my platform. You can still just become part of my Patreon family because you just support or you love what I do. You can as well become part of my, you can as well support my platform via PayPal. So thank you so much. Have a lovely morning, night, midday, afternoon, wherever you are. So until tomorrow, kwaheri.